Hello and welcome to another episode here on my channel. My name is Cavill, and today we have a video which has nothing too much to do with video games. Well, it kinda has, but it doesn't. And this is normally not my area of expertise, but as you probably know, I'm a huge Warhammer 40k fan, and as it is now official, Henry Cavill, who has been playing Superman or The Witcher. He has been also in other movies like Mission Impossible and many, many more out there, is now officially involved in Warhammer 40k movies and TV shows. And he will not just be a star in those shows, aka an actor, but he will also be the executive producer on those shows. So that means he will have a pretty big say in what direction those shows are going. And that is pretty important for multiple reasons. First of all, if you didn't know, Henry Cavill is a big Warhammer 40k fan. He loves to talk about it, and he knows the lore. He reads the books, he knows the lore. I still remember the infamous interview he had a few years ago. I think it was on the British morning show or something, and he got asked like, "Hey, oh my God, we heard that you really love Warcraft. Tell us a little bit more about your Warcraft hobby." And Cavill was like, "What?" Because they completely mixed this up and apparently didn't really research too much. But hey, he is a huge Warhammer 40k fan. Here you can see some pictures when he visited actually Games Workshop. He is playing the cohortes, if I'm not mistaken. He also loves the Blood Angels as a Space Marine chapter. And again, he is pretty big in the whole Warhammer 40k world, and he has been kind of dreaming about this for decades, and now it finally seems like that he had a chance for it. Because if you have missed it, Cavill announced a few months ago that he will not return as the Witcher in Witcher Season 4 on Netflix because, well, there were apparently some issues here and there, and he was also not really too happy where the show was going because they were removing themselves more and more from the actual, well, lore which actually existed and the story which actually existed around the Witcher franchise, and he didn't like that one bit, and nobody wanted to listen to him. And then, of course, he had, well, you could say, the doomed announcement to make that he is returning as Superman. And this would also a little bit collide with the Netflix showcase. And so people were like, okay, yeah, we get it. He really loves Superman. He wants to return as Superman. They probably also paid him more than Netflix did. And sure, we can understand that. But then last week, because Warner Brothers / DC is completely restructuring. They are restructuring everything right now. Shows are getting killed, which actually did pretty well. Movies are getting killed, which a lot of people have been looking forward to. And one of those announcements was that, yeah, we are returning, of course, with a new Superman movie, but not with Henry Cavill, because they want to focus on the early years of Superman, and apparently Cavill doesn't really fit into that. So they told him that, yeah, maybe at some point we might return to you, but right now we cannot. We don't need you. We just don't need you, so get lost. And it was a pretty unfortunate time for Cavill, I assume. And now it seems like he got approached, or he approached. We don't really know for sure. The only thing we do know for sure is that Cavill and Amazon Studios basically came together, and that they today announced that they secured the global rights to Warhammer 40k based on the immensely popular intellectual property from Games Workshop. And that Amazon can now do everything, including movies, TV shows. I wonder if video games are actually also included in this. They don't really go into too much detail here. I've been reading the whole press conference, and of course there's a lot of marketing spill on how they are loving everything and everyone is huge fans, yada yada yada, you know, the whole shebang. But yeah, they don't really talk about video games, interestingly enough. So I just assume it's TV shows and movies at this point. But this is, as I said, a fantastic announcement. Cavill is a huge fan of the tabletop. He has been playing for decades. He knows the lore. And I think that's the most important part. And I think that he really will bring a vision to this because, let's be real, for a hot minute, I think we all love Warhammer 40k. But I think we can also all agree that Games Workshop has been more miss than hit when it came to their project, to TV shows, movies, and all that. If you didn't know, by the way, they now have Warhammer Plus, which is basically like Disney Plus, where they have their own shows airing, like original shows airing on their channel. If you've never heard of it, I don't blame you. I'm not surprised because they're doing a pretty bad job marketing that whole thing. So I will be honest, I think that Amazon and in the end Cavill are the right choices for this. And we will probably find out pretty soon if the show will be good or not, because Cavill has showing that he can be very enthusiastic about it, but he also clearly calls out people and companies when he just feels like this is not going in the right direction, and then he moves away, like he showed with The Witcher, right? So he takes that serious, and I think that's good. Now, unfortunately, we do not know what this will be about. In an Instagram post, Cavill announced that he will create something very familiar, but he wants to tell a new story. So it seems like they will not adapt any of the books or any of the stories which are already known, which I'm cool with. Gives them more freedom to do whatever they like. Was first expecting that they maybe go into the Horus Heresy, because that is a thing you can just milk for years from a company perspective, right? Or that maybe, if we are lucky, we are finally getting like an Eisenhorn TV show / movie or something like that. But yeah, it seems like he has other plans, or the studio has other plans, which I'm okay with. Like there are so many good things in interesting moments, let's call them that, in the Warhammer 40k universe. And if he wants to tell a new story and does it right, yeah, I'm cool with that. But keep in mind, this was just the announcement, so don't expect anything in the next 3 years, probably. Yeah, because they announced it themselves. They have to find people for this now. They have to find writers, they have to find producers and all that. Like, they have nothing. Like, this is literally the ink just dried on the paper announcement. Here it is. Because it just fits so much into all the things which were going on with Cavill. So, if you're excited about this, awesome. Me too. But we have to wait a little bit longer before this is happening. With that said, we are done with the video. If you want to read the announcement yourself, you will find a link in the video description. I will just put it there. And also make sure that if you are new to the channel, that you are subscribing. I am focusing more and more on Warhammer 40k, and there's already quite a bit of Warhammer 40k Dark Tide here on the channel. And I'm also like focusing on guides for new games coming out. I'm also doing live streams here on the channel from Monday to Friday. Not right now, I'm in a 2-week vacation, so I'm doing this on my vacation time right now. That's how important this was to me. But yeah, if you enjoy my content, I would definitely appreciate if you are deciding to subscribe. Also, if you want to check out my second channel, which is youtube.com/@chaosmoreacts, that's my react channel to trailers and other things which I'm just watching, and then do the weird reaction phase, which is like, you know, and have fun with that. But with that said, stay safe, and don't forget, the Emperor protects. Bye-bye.